Assalamu alaikum. As uncomfortable as it sounds, someone has to ask this question. God forbid, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect al-aqsa, ameen. But has the closure of al-aqsa been a testing of the waters before something far worse? Closed for 40 days. Now, is that a coincidence? Because 40 days was the number of days Musa alayhi salam's appointment with Allah lasted in Mount Sinai. And during that time, Bani Israel were tested. So ask yourself honestly, were these 40 days also a test for us? And if so, how did we do? While the Zionists watched, measured and calculated the reaction of this Ummah, its scholars and its youth, is what we are witnessing today all preparation for something far more dangerous? For the longest duration in recent history, since the time of the Crusades, Masjid al-Aqsa was shut, blocked, restricted from the Ummah. Since late February 2026, in Ramadan, Muslims had been barred from worshipping freely. Access was restricted. Young Palestinians were turned away, while at the same time settlers entered daily. Now let's be clear. Al-Aqsa, the third holiest site in Islam, the first Qibla, is not just occupied. It is being systematically violated, and we've seen it. Repeated raids, storming, violation of the masjid, deliberate provocations, killings, shootings inside the masjid, settler incursions, and now even rituals being carried out within the precinct. And this is not random. This is escalating every year, emboldened by extremist Zionist politicians backed openly by state power. Figures like Ben-Gvir entering the compound repeatedly, not hiding it, not denying it, but normalizing it. But what should concern us even more? Yes, the occupation should concern us, but it's also the intention of these Zionist settlers. Because for decades, extremist Zionist groups have openly declared their goal. And their goal is to remove al-Aqsa, to replace it. And yet, are we choosing to ignore this? Groups like Temple Mount Faithful returning to the mountain and others, they don't hide their agenda. They openly advocate, they support and they incite the storming of al-Aqsa, calling for animal sacrifices, the Judaization of the site, all leading towards one outcome: the destruction of Masjid al-Aqsa and the building of what they call the third temple. And in recent years, we've seen increasing focus on something very specific: the importation of red heifers from the United States into occupied Palestine. Because within these movements, there is a belief that the ashes of the red heifer are required for ritual purification before this so-called temple can be established. Now pause and think about that, because this leads to a question, a painful one, an uncomfortable one, a question many of us avoid, even as events unfold right before our eyes. Will they succeed in replacing Masjid al-Aqsa with a synagogue? And what will prevent them? Because the reality is this: for decades, this has not been a secret. It has been declared openly, and today, step by step, that declaration is being moved closer to reality. When the Crusaders occupied Jerusalem in 1099, they massacred thousands of Muslims who sought refuge within Masjid al-Aqsa itself. Reports speak of blood running ankle deep. They dishonored the sanctuary. They even turned al-Aqsa into a horse stable. But even then, despite all of that, they did not seek to destroy Masjid al-Aqsa. They recognized its significance, its history and its structure. But today we are facing something absolutely different. The Zionists want to go further, not just occupy, not just violate, but to remove it entirely. And why? Because they see no real resistance to this idea, no serious deterrence, no unified response, silence where there should be outrage, division where there should be unity amongst the Ummah. And where are the leaders of caliber? Where are the likes of Imamuddin Zengi, Nuruddin Zengi, Salahuddin Ayyubi rahimullah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with all of them. Men who didn't just speak, they lived, dreamt, slept al-Aqsa. They dreamt for its liberation, they worked for it, they sacrificed for it day and night. From 1099 to 1187, for 88 long painful years, what do you think they were doing? They were preparing, uniting, they worked for liberation until Allah granted them victory. They didn't wait, they didn't issue empty statements. So the question is, where is that vision? Where is that motivation? Where is that activism drive within us today if we say we truly love al-Aqsa? While al-Aqsa is being violated openly, impotent Arab puppet rulers and so-called Muslim rulers are silent or issue empty words without any real action. Does it not pain the so-called custodians of Masjid al-Haram and Masjid al-Nabawi to allow such desecration of al-Aqsa, the third holy precinct? Those who claim lineage to the great legacy of the Ottoman Caliphate, who refused to sell Palestine. Did you even hear a whisper emerge from these people? Because behind the scenes, they fully endorse these violations of al-Aqsa's sanctity through their normalization, trade, political relations with the Zionists. These Arab and so-called Muslim rulers are fully complicit in the occupation, desecration and violation of al-Aqsa, as they enable emboldened Zionist rulers by normalizing with them, or accepting their occupation and turning a blind eye to their constant violations. And God forbid, if al-Aqsa was destroyed tomorrow, these shameful Zionist agents would call for Aqsa to be shared, whilst their celebrity scholars will be at hand to provide the required fatwas. As for the inheritors of the prophets, the scholars, have they not studied the history of al-Aqsa? Was it not our great scholars of the past who were so central to its liberation? So where are the scholars today, the true inheritors of the honorable legacy? Because what we are witnessing now is a deafening silence. From the Mimbar, the very place that once shaped the Ummah, guided it, mobilized it, now stands quiet. Where are the khutbahs addressing this directly? Where is the urgency? Have we forgotten that scholars once stood at the forefront? Figures like Abdul Qadir Jilani, Isa al-Haqqari, Najm al-Din al-Ayyub and Imam al-Din al-Isfahani, who didn't just speak, they supported, guided and stood alongside Salahuddin Ayyubi rahimullah right at the forefront, providing moral, political and strategic strength, mobilizing the Ummah, standing firm in times of crisis. So we have to ask, where are those voices amongst the scholars today? Do they not see the danger facing al-Aqsa? Do they not feel the urgency of this moment? And yet, despite all of this, the greatest danger to al-Aqsa is the Ummah's silence and inaction. And we cannot afford to remain silent or passive. So what must the Ummah do? Firstly, break the silence. Speak about al-Aqsa consistently, publicly and unapologetically. 2. Raise awareness. Make this a permanent issue, not something we remember only in crisis. 3. Apply real pressure. Challenge Muslim leaders, Muslim government scholars, sheikhs, khatibs, imams. Hold people of power and influence accountable. Speak out. Reject normalization with Zionist occupiers. Call for the liberation and the protection of al-Aqsa. And 4thly, work towards political unity under a caliphate, not division, not sectarianism, not nation states, but political unity of the Ummah must become a serious objective, not just a slogan. We need to work towards a caliphate which brings this Ummah together. Because without real political unity, there is no real protection. Al-Aqsa, brothers and sisters, is not optional. It is part of our deen. It is not any land. It is the land of the prophets. Musa alayhi salam longed for it, yearned for it. Generation after generation of sacrifice for it. And today it is being tested through us. So I ask you, so will we leave its defense to the honorable Palestinians alone? Or will we seek a share, an honor and a portion of its share in its eventual liberation? Because liberated it will be. That is the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. Question is, do you want to be part of it or not? So rise and speak truth and demand accountability and work towards the unity of this Ummah that is needed to protect it.